M1 見ようぜ。
いや、俺、あれついてないんだよね。テレビが。パソコンでやってっから、なんか見れる方法あんのあれするしかないよ。なんだっけ。なんだ。ホスティングじゃなくて、ミラーリングみたいな。
テレビ持ってこい。
無理やって。ちゃんと俺ビデオに撮ってあるから。
スマホでも見れるやろ。
いや、俺スマホテレビ見れない。見れる設定にできんのかな。
It took me a couple of days to track the Daltons down.
They can't get away with this!
And in that time, a whole posse of local vigilantes offered to lend a hand.
あ、ガラケーでしたか、すみません、ニヤニヤ。
They seemed as determined as me to find those outlaws. But as we headed into those swamps, it was like I had my own private army. There was no way those boys were getting away this time.
あ、丹念だが。
アンテナ突き刺さないと見れないかな。
あ、なるほど。ほんまかよ。
It was early fall, right? Beautiful time of year. At least you had the weather on your side.
Not by my recollection. It was damp and foggy as hell. It was tough to stay on a true course, so we kept an eye out for landmarks.
これがマークね。
It was autumn. The maple trees were in full color, red as blood.
びっくりした。
The rains that year were torrential, so the whole area was flooded. The vigilantes had spread out wide, and pretty soon I couldn't see anybody.
確か M1 って出場に年齢制限あったよね。
あ、ないんじゃない？あった？あるの？
地元の芸人がラジオでそんなこと言ってた気がした。
なるほど。いや、目おかしくなる。この水面の。
Except for some bitches ahead of me wanting to do me harm. So I had to face them alone.
めっちゃ痛いんだが。
I wondered why my compatriots didn't come running when they heard the shots.
いや、うまいんだが、敵が。あ、これどうすんの？パンチか。
So did you find the Daltons?
Not yet. But I did have the questionable pleasure of meeting a few of their friends.
痛えんだが。あれか。うまいんだが。あいつうまかったな。
The boys had established quite a reputation by that time, so they attracted all manner of riffraff to their cause. Point being, I was under serious attack.
強えじゃねえか。
ずっと見切れ切れやな、わら。
And my reinforcements was nowhere to be seen.
Somebody kill that son of a bitch!
Sword of Life。
But luckily, a barn materialized as if right before my eyes. I scrambled up top to get a better view.
登っていくのかこれ。
But just ended up falling inside.
So, how did you get out?
The barn doors was open. About right then, I saw some suspicious characters running for the bushes. Of course, I followed them.
息もキレキレ、わら。
But that goddamn swamp was like a goddamn maze, and pretty soon I had no goddamn idea where I was. Steve? So I just started walking, and pretty soon...
なんか寝てるやついねえか。どこだなんか寝てるやついるぞ。
起きろ。
な、危ない危ない。
Oh,
Steve? Steve?
huh? Oh, no, I'm listening.
Indians surrounded me from all sides.
どこ？
Indians? There were Indians?
No. I just wanted to make sure Steve was paying attention. Now, where was I?
You were following the Daltons through a swamp?
That's right. See, Steve? Dwight's paying attention.
Oh, I'm listening. I was just resting my eyes.
So, where was I?
The Daltons.
Right. See, there's a reason so many outlaw gangs are made up of brothers. Being a brother is a very sacred thing. It's a bond like no other.
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son bitch!
So did you ever find the damn Daltons?
Not yet. But I did find a few of their cousins. You Kansans breed like rabbits. More Smiths or Heimhoffers or who knows what. But hell, what's more important than family? I bet Ben knows what I'm talking about.
おい。
Bounty hunters! Stop that, son of a bitch! There he is! Reload! Take that asshole out! Bury him in the swamp! Got to go! How many of us did
どこだ？見えませんが、そんなとこか。なんで当たんねえの？痛いけど。
ツッコミ評価されすぎ、笑う。
誰？
おいでやすこが。
あ、シャンプーハット？敵がすげえな。なんで当たんねえの？
おいでやすこが脳だかな。
おいでやすこが知らんな。
まあ最近の芸人派さっぱりですニヤニヤ。
いや、ほんそれ。
I knew those Dalton boys were out there somewhere, standing together against anyone who would threaten me. And that's when I saw it. A goddamn steamboat.
A steamboat in a swamp?
Yeah, Steve, but this wasn't much more than a wreck, really.
But how'd a damn steamboat end up in the swamps?
Yes, it floated off during the flood of '89.
Now, was it a stern-wheeler or a side-wheeler?
What? Does that really make a difference, Steve? It was a steamboat with a goddamn army on board. It was then that a fusillade of bullets come raining down from on high, and those vigilantes who accompanied me weren't anywhere to be found. But among those men that were shooting at me, I thought I saw some familiar faces.
貫通していくんだが。どうしろと。ああ。
Somewhere up there, the Daltons were waiting on me.
I'm just getting started. You can't hide from me.
Sounds like you don't give up too easy.
That's the kind of man I am, Ben. I set out to do something. I do it. Surrender just ain't in my nature. Plus, I'm stubborn as hell.
難しい。
Brother, I'm gonna make you pay for that.
Right about then, much to my relief, the vigilantes finally arrived. Their leader motioned at a cabin in the middle of the top deck, pointing me directly at the Daltons. I finally had them, after months of dogged pursuit. But it turned out that they had me.
Take him out! I'm sending you to hell!
こいつに殴られたな。
The Daltons had played me like a fiddle. Apparently, the vigilantes were on their damn payroll. They didn't just want to shoot me. They wanted to burn me alive. But finding my way out of a burning labyrinth proved to be quite a challenge.
It was a riverboat, right? I mean, it's not like it was a goddamn ocean liner.
Well, yeah, but I was in a
Did you
fight.
hear about that ship that's gonna launch next year? Largest one in the world.
You're
well,
talking about the Titanic. If you ask me, it's too blessed dead. I don't think it'll even float.
So anyway,
Don't be stupid, Steve. They know what they're doing. They say that the Titanic is unsinkable.
oh God,
But getting back to that steamboat, how did you get off it, Mr. Greaves?
I took in a lot of smoke that day, so I admit my recollection might be a bit hazy. But somehow I managed to finally disembark. It was time to settle this once and for all. Bob and Grat weren't about to come at me one at a time. They were in this together.
いや、楽しかったわ、今。
Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
.なるほど。久しぶりすぎて。当たってたじゃん、今。
Two brothers side by side, determined to take me down. Confident that this time the odds were on their side.
ダメか。
2人相手発狂です。
確かに。はい、
They
楽
got
勝。
it wrong. A sad end for those two. If they'd only known that Emmett was still alive despite his wounds. Paroled 14 years later, he moved to California and sold real estate and lived off the legend of that fateful day. And the tragic death of his two brothers. My own brothers died tragically as well, truth be told. It was 1868, and me and my older brothers were pulling a tidy profit running cattle into Juarez, Mexico. One night after my brothers retired for the evening, I found a little poker game in a cantina with a couple of cowboys. And I just couldn't lose. I even won an old Spanish coin that had to be 100 years old. Well, I was mighty pleased with myself the next morning as my brothers and I rode for Texas. But before we crossed the border, those cowboys caught up with us. It was Johnny Ringo, Roscoe Bob Bryant, and another asshole named Jim. They wanted their money back and everything else we had, including our lives, as those boys didn't want us coming for them later. Bob put that old Spanish coin in my mouth and said, "I won't have it said that I left you with nothing, boy." Well, those horses bolted, and there we hung as those bastards rode away. The branch finally snapped under the weight of the three of us, but being my older brothers were bigger and heavier, they were already dead. And right then I swore to myself that I would avenge them. Ringo you know about. But Bob eluded me, until I heard he was riding with the Wild Bunch. I'd been on their trail for months, ever since they left their hideout in the Bighorn Mountains.
Oh.
Led by Butch Cassidy. They were a loose association of outlaws who robbed banks and trains from Colorado to Montana. Among them was the Sundance Kid, and that murderous hombre I was tracking, Roscoe Bob Bryant.
Were you a part of that giant Pinkerton posse after the Wild Bunch?
No, boy. A circus like that would have slowed me down. Besides, I wanted Bryant all to myself. I'd heard about a large shipment of gold being transported to Wilcox, Wyoming on the Overland Flyer. They blew the bridge with the intention of forcing the train to stop. Well, I assumed the Wild Bunch was likely in the still intact part of the train high above. I was determined to make that sumbitch Bob pay for what he did to my brothers.
It's かかってる引っかかってる。
ears are still ringing from blowing up that ridge.
Well, I made my way off unscathed and came upon a few members of the gang and had no choice but to dispatch them. From there, I had to negotiate an even more precarious route.
You're dead.
But first, I would need to get my ass out of there. I jumped from the frying pan into the fire as the train was clearly fixing to fall. I had found the gang, but in order to find old Bob, I needed to fight my way forward past a whole passel of desperados. Outside, inside, any way I could, I made my way towards my prey.
Well, what about the passengers?
It was mostly a freight train, as I recall. There were no passengers aboard that day. As I mentioned before, I am not fond of heights. But I was too busy dodging bullets to worry about falling to my death. Odds were I was likely to die that day anyway. So I was determined to take down as many of those bastards as I could.
Yeah, you know you can't beat me. Dead man.
撃て。
You ain't seen the likes of me.
At times it was like shooting ducks in a shooting gallery.
肩。
The only difference is these damn ducks shot back.
リロード中は殴れないのか。え、マジトラップだよ。バカバカ。こっからか。こっちからか。
I kept hoping the law would show up and give me a
You
hand.
mean like that giant Pinkerton posse that I read about? Did they come riding in, guns a-blazing to help?
「ショーブル定時負荷」めっちゃいるやん。
Help? From the Pinkertons? No, son. I had to fight the wild bunch all by my lonesome, as usual.
Who the hell is that? God damn him! He's out of his mind! Take cover! Retreat! Retreat! He's killing everybody. Ready to meet your maker. He'll kill us all. Run! It's time to end this. Oh.
バカバカ。
Better than that.
My guess is those dime novels didn't portray this as it happened, did they? Only a few stragglers were left, and I had to cut them down pronto if I was going to stay on old Bob's trail.
I'm gonna cut you in two. If you wanna live. What's he trying to do?
Once I silenced all those guns, I went searching for my nemesis, determined to finally have my justice. But the only survivor who welcomed me was George Flat-Nose Curry.
Who was he?
The fastest gun in the gang. Right after Sundance, I mean. And Kid Curry. And maybe Elsie Lay.
待って待って待って。
Though some folks might dispute that.
はいや。まあ何度でも蘇るんですけどね。
On that very same day, Butch Cassidy and the Sundance Kid decided to leave the Wild Bunch behind and decamped for South America. They ended up living down there for many years, but I'm sure you already know all about that.
Ah, ソードオフショットガンはアキンボ持ちできんのか、2丁で。
I tried to find Bob Bryant, but it was as if he'd disappeared. Sometime later, I heard the Wild Bunch was back together.
5年後。
Kid
だいぶ
Curry
飛んだな
escaped from jail, and now he was running the whole shebang. So I took to their trail, as I was still in pursuit of my brother's killer and hoped that he was back with him.
That Kid Curry's kinda crazy, ain't he?
Don't let him hear you saying that.
Anyways, I tracked those boys to a camp right outside Parachute, Colorado.
We're under fire!
Being outnumbered, I didn't bother with a warning shot. I just started taking those bastards down.
That's it for you.
Old Bob wasn't among them, and neither was Kid Curry. I could sense him close by, however, plotting something nasty. I just needed a clue as to their whereabouts. And I found one. A map with their bold plan clearly marked. This time they were fixing to blow up a train trestle. Property of the Union Pacific. The plan clearly indicated how they were fixing to undermine several of the weakest wooden supports. Kid Curry was considered the wildest of the wild bunch. It was said that he fathered 85 bastard children, though some say it was only 5. Kid Curry had bragged to a whore how he was gonna rob a train heading to the U.S. Mint in Denver. And that whore, Fat Sally, she told me. The bridge was rigged with dynamite, so I decided I'd best be careful confronting those bastards. A moment later, I saw a ladder that somehow had escaped my attention.
Don't you blow us up now.
Don't worry, I know what I'm doing.
But the Wild Bunch did not take kindly to my presence and attempted to blow my head off. It appeared the kid had found a number of new recruits to bolster their ranks. Guess there's always desperate men willing to trade their lives for stolen treasure.
What happened next?
Well, having removed the first bundle of dynamite, I decided I might as well remove the other one. Once that was done, I figured I'd find my way from there.
ショットガン使いにく。
So, what happened then?
Had to remove more of that damn dynamite.
It must have been terrifying trying to make your way across.
I was sweating it a bit, but then I noticed a footbridge tied up on high, so I shot the rope.
Eh!
So that was all the dynamite?
Funny you should mention that, darling. As actually there was a fourth charge impeding my progress. Once I removed it, my path was pretty clear. So I proceeded onward and realized that that way just wasn't gonna work. I needed an alternate path forward. Luckily, I found a cave, and as I made my way back to the bridge, I saw something that concerned me. It was a long, burning fuse, and it was moving fast as hell. I had to catch it. The burning fuse was so damn quick, I had to run like the wind. I almost had it, but no. Thought I was gonna have a coronary when I lost sight of those sparks. My heart was pounding like a sledgehammer. Of course, I had to tread carefully. Otherwise, I could, well, die.
Get off the bridge!
마치 무리게.
Get off the bridge!
에?
Get off the bridge! Get off the bridge!
こうか。
I knew that failure meant boom. Then, finally, at the last moment.
なっけ、導火線だな。
Whew. Of course, I was successful, or clearly I wouldn't be talking to you folks here today. Naturally, I removed the last dynamite charge. Well, it was a touching reunion. But by this time, I was thoroughly exhausted and dragging my ass, as I was not a young man anymore.
Kill that SOB! Make him bleed! Send him to perdition!
Finally, I found those boys. Or more precisely, they found me.
Racer and Kid Curry asked me. Nuttier than a damn fruitcake. Murder that bastard.
どうしろと。
Racer and Kid Curry asked me. Nuttier than a damn fruitcake.
Ah, ショットガンかよ。
Let's see if that chicken can fly.
Just when I thought things couldn't get worse, Kid Curry opened up on me with a goddamn Gatling gun. It was hidden in this tunnel and pretty well shielded.
どうすりゃいい？消えた。
Show 'em how to die. Son of a bitch. Get me. Lay down and die. Come out, you yellow bastard! The last mistake you'll ever make! Stupid contraption!
Luckily, I had located some dynamite.
You know who I am?
I still, however, had my work cut out for me.
若々。
Hands up! Stand still so I can kill you! Time for you to lay down and die! Yeah! You can't hide forever! Are you kidding me? God damn it, I need some help here! Come on, boys! Make this something out! You know who I am? Leave him to me! Ready to leave. Like this, cocksucker! Move it, boys! You can't beat me! Damn! Beat that bastard! Give me a hand here, goddammit! It smells like I can kill you! You just brought it!
えへい。
This is the last mistake you'll ever make! It's not fair!
待って待って待って待って。
Eventually, I brought that tunnel down. And that's when I met Kid Curry himself. He had decided to stop pussyfooting around and deal with me.
なるほどね。なんか通常エンディングもそんな感じっぽかったもんね。あ、通常エンディングってか、あれか、最終回の。
As fast as he was,
最終回エンディング
I was just a bit faster. And as he lay wounded, I demanded to know the whereabouts of Roscoe Bob Bryant. He shouted at me. Is that what this is about? Bob went with Butch and Sundance to South America. You ain't never finding him.
こそこそ噂話だけ新規だった。
Those were his last words.
まだ見てない。録画してるわ。M1 と一緒に。
So, Bob Bryant got away?
I knew I'd never find him in South America.
してるね。
What about the other killer?
Yeah, you kind of glossed over that one.
まあでも大して面白くないだろうと思ってるから早送りできるよ。
Ringo. At the time, he was riding with the James Younger gang. Did I neglect to mention that?
前回前々回も
Jesse
1
James?
回目2回目
The
は見
greatest
たから
outlaw
ス
who
ル
ever
ーしてるか
lived?
な。
Jesse and his kin rode with Quantrill when he raided Lawrence, Kansas, and killed near 200 people, boy.
Ah, nothing great about that.
And from there, him and his
してないよ。
brother went on to rob banks and trains from Kansas to Missouri.
Which is why there was such a rich bounty on their heads. 40 grand for both of them, dead or alive. That's one hell of a payday.
"死神は鋼の種馬に乗る」。すげえ題名だな。
I confronted them as they were robbing a train. Bullets were flying at me from every which way. But I knew I'd have to fight my way forward if I was gonna find this gem.
Just killed Red?
あ、こうか。
Damn
発しないんか。
Now wait a second. How'd they stop this train in the first place?
Well, the James boys were experts at this.
電車が止まる。ほんまかい。フランキーじゃねえか。
They hopped a freight train, having heard there was a big payroll in the express safe. So I hopped the same train.
ちょっと待って。あ、へい、それないわ。全然楽しんでたのに今動画を。
無限列車ですか。
お？
The James Younger gang was decimated after that little fiasco they had in Northfield, Minnesota. So Jesse needed more men and took on the killer I was after, along with a host of others.
有
I
名
was
の
hoping
中
to
に行け
find
る
my
か
man and put a bullet in his head.
な。お？
Climbing around that train, I must have swallowed 100 damn bugs before I
The
reached
James
that.
Younger gang pulled the first train robbery west of the Mississippi.
Sounds like you hold them in high regard.
Everyone knows they were the most famous outlaw gang ever.
And you took them all on by your lonesome. Again. I'm finding this all a little hard to swallow, friend.
Well, maybe you need to wash it down with some whiskey. By the way, did I mention that that train was flying down those tracks like a bat out of hell?
Goddamn law dog! And he just did what I think he did. You just
Anyway, excuse me, Ben. Where would I find the gentleman's facilities? Suddenly I have an urgent need to drain my one-eyed snake. Well, I've had more than a few drinks, and I've been sitting here for quite a spell.
Right through there. Let me show
I've
you.
never heard so much malarkey in my life.
You think he's bullshitting us?
You don't think he's Silas Greaves?
I think he's just some old drunk looking for some free liquor.
I don't know, Jack. I think I believe him. You don't think he met Jesse James?
もうデジャブかこ
gotta
れ。
kid me. That story makes no sense at all.
Jack.
I mean, you gotta be 2 bricks short of a load to believe that cock and bull story.
I don't agree.
Jack, lay off the
But you
ball.
seriously think that tired old man went toe-to-toe with Jesse James?
Well, that's better. Did I mention that this Jim was married to the infamous Belle Starr? Of course, I didn't learn that until later. Anyway, I made my way forward the best I could. Around the sides, over the roof.
え？一体何が？
It was a rickety ride and quite precarious. At some point, some sumbitch saw me and shouted out, "It's the damn Pinkertons!" Now, I never worked for that limey cocksucker, but I guess they assumed I was one of his assassins. Those evil bastards firebombed Jesse's mother's house and killed his stepbrother.
水あげてるわ。死にゲーですか。
No wonder each and every asshole on that train wanted me dead.
Everybody's always mistaking you for somebody else, aren't
What?
they?
貫通してるじゃないか。
Why is that, I wonder?
Don't rightly know, Jack. I'm just telling you how I remember it.
I bet you are.
どうしろと。これか。
I came across a flat car piled high with logs and had to come up with a creative way to make my way forward.
Mhm. めんどくせえこのステージ。カーターこいつ。え？てかショットガンやめよう。
Right about then, I was attacked by some asshole on a Gatling gun.
Yeah, seems like you run into a lot of them.
Asshole?
Gatling guns.
Yes, I did. Now, I don't remember how I took it out. It was either a bullet or dynamite.
Where would you find dynamite?
Does it really matter, Jack? You're messing with the flow of the story here. I was looking for Jim and shooting any son of a bitch stupid enough to get in my way.
Okay.
And that included Jesse James himself. There sure were a lot of men determined to die that day.
I think he's scared.
It was then that Jesse detached the express car from the rest of the damn train. I could see Jesse waiting for me, fixing to kill me so he could get away with all that money.
You had a showdown with Jesse James?
Of course he didn't. Everybody knows that Jesse was killed by Bob Ford.
Yeah. Jesse went out like John Wesley Hardin. Coward shot him in the back of the head.
Guess it doesn't matter how far you run, does it, Ben? Your past always catches up with you. Yeah, I didn't kill Jesse James. Just wounded him bad enough to convince him to hang up his guns.
What about that Jim fella? What happened to him?
I figure he was up front with a gun to the engineer's head. That bastard slipped away again. I'll tell you how I got him. But first I need to wet my whistle. Continued to track his brother, Frank, and that son of a bitch, Jim. I followed those bastards into the high mountains as they were going to ground.
What mountains would that be?
Somewhere in the Ozarks, I believe. A perfect place to hide out from the authorities. In fact, before I could find them, some Indians who fled the res and were hiding out from the military found me first. They probably thought I was a cavalry scout and didn't want me telling the military where they were.
Indians?
Yeah, they could have been Cheyenne, but there was all sorts of renegades roaming the landscape back then.
やべえ、敵が強くなってきてる。安易なムーブすると。勝った。決勝なのに 2,3 発入れないと。
Hey, how about another whiskey, Ben? Nothing better to soothe the troubled soul. Now, where was I? Indians, right. I had more than my share of run-ins with the red man. Like that time... Did I tell you about Grey Wolf?
Yes, sir. You did.
Ah, of course I did. In fact, I could still remember that old medicine man's words to me.
Jesus Christ, we're back to that again?
You carry great darkness in your heart. It will claim your soul. You will come to this place again and kill many more men.
待って。なんで引っかかってんの。
And the darkness will grow until it consumes everything you are.
いや、ちょっと待って。全然当たんなかった途中から。
Like that time... Did I tell you about Grey Wolf?
Yes, sir. You did.
Ah, of course I did. In fact, I could still remember that old medicine man's words to me.
Jesus Christ, we're back to that again?
You carry great darkness in your heart. It will claim your soul. You will come to this place again and kill many more men.
なんで当たんねん。
And the darkness will grow until it consumes everything you are.
So, did you ever find him? Who? The man you are after.
Let me ask you something, Ben. You ever think about death?
Mr. Greaves, are you all right?
Ooh, death. Oh, death, won't you spare me over till another year? What is this that I can't see with ice cold hands taking hold of me? Well, I am death, none can excel. I'll open the door to heaven or hell. Oh, death, someone would pray.
やばくね?
Could you wait to call me another day? Oh, death. Oh, death. Won't you spare me over till another year?
So, are you gonna answer the question?
What question is that?
Jim Reed. Did you ever find him?
Reed was indeed that son bitch's surname. That's right, Ben. A despicable character. I remember him laughing like a hyena that cold morning they lynched me and my brothers. He was intent on avoiding my vengeance, but nothing was gonna stop me. Nothing.
Stop me.
I finally did track those outlaws down. They had long rifles with scopes and were well positioned to pick off any poor soul who came anywhere close. I'm guessing Frank James believed I was responsible for the demise of his brother Jesse. I couldn't really disagree with the man, as I thought Jesse was dead then as well. He backed off as I closed in on him, but he was still intent on killing me.
なるほどね。どこだ？こっちか。当たんねえじゃん。
And when I closed in on him again, he backed off again, looking for a better angle on me. Hell, I can't fault Frank for wanting his revenge, as I was there for the same damn reason myself. At this point, I'm guessing you think Silas Greaves is a worse murderer than Jim Reed ever was.
No, sir.
A man who spent half his life killing somebody's brothers, fathers, sons.
I think you were just looking for justice, sir.
Is that what I was looking for, Dwight? Is that what it was? Justice?
Isn't that why you were hunting the James gang?
James gang. Right. I finally found Frank holed up in his mountain cabin, and he was determined to have me dead. It was a pitched battle that could have gone either way. Luckily, I had some dynamite in my possession.
Dynamite? On your person?
A few sticks, just in case. It's always good to be prepared.
どうしろっつうの。
It was a pitched battle that could have gone either way. Luckily, I had some dynamite in my possession.
Dynamite? On your person?
A few sticks, just in case. It's always good to be prepared.
Right.
I'm just laying out the facts as I remember them, Jack.
でどうしろっつうのよ。真面目にいけ。え？
That son of a bitch! Take him out! He's just one man! Put him down! I want that bastard dead! Come here! Down bad. Belly full of bloodshot. That old shack? Well, it went tumbling right off that cliff.
With Frank James still in it?
Yes, sir.
But Frank James is still alive, living in Missouri, showing folks around the family farm for 25 cents a tour.
I didn't say he died in the fall, now did I? I'm done with this damnable outlaw life! Kill me, don't kill me, do what you will! At this point, I just don't give a shit. I explained to Frank that I had nothing against him personally and that I was looking for someone else. You want Reed? Have at him. I never did like that bastard. I am done here. We parted in peace as Frank pointed out the path to my prey before making his way back down the hill.
なるほど。
So, what happened with Reed?
Well, I finally found the last of the gang hiding in a nearby cave. First, I had to dispatch the lookouts, as I was determined not to let that murderer escape my revenge again.
Ah, 遊びすぎた。
But rather than wander in willy-nilly, I decided it would be better to smoke that son-of-a-bitch out. Hey, Reed! I shouted. No wonder you're so ornery. Can't be easy being married to Belle Starr. While you're off providing for the family, she's spreading her legs for every Tom, Dick, and Cole Younger. Not an attractive woman exactly, but very friendly. At least she was to me.
Son of a bitch!
It was then that the last bunch of bandits jumped out of hiding.
Why won't this asshole give up? Would someone please kill him?
え、当たんねえな。え、なんで？あ？あは？
Why won't this asshole give up? Would someone please kill him?
え？わかった。お前らの
Why won't this asshole give up? Would someone please kill him?
Oh, 当たんねえな。
Why won't this asshole give up? Would someone please kill him? Shoot. Gotta give him that. Don't let him through.
むずい。スコープねえのか、スコープ。
Why won't this asshole give up? Would someone please kill him? Shoot. Don't let him through.
Oh, 当たんね。
Eventually, it was just me and Reed. I had waited a long time to face him down, so I could repay him for what he did to my brothers. And repay him I did.
なかなかのスピーディーだったんじゃないの、今。よし、じゃあここら辺で一旦今日は寝ますかな。
Well, I don't know about you boys, but I'm pretty beat.
Well, it's too damn bad you never found that Bob character. Seems a shame you never had to pay.
Well, funny thing about that, I did have one more chance at him.
Back to episode 7.
6 months ago, I heard that Butch and Sundance were back in the States and had gathered up some of their old gang. I tracked them down, hoping that Roscoe Bob Bryant had returned with them.
So you're saying they didn't die down in Bolivia?
That's what I'm saying. "40 years I had waited to get my hands on the last of my brother's killers.
ではではおっつっつにやにや。
つつ。
にやにや。
ちょっと早めに今日は寝ますわ。お疲れした。